Okay, welcome to BWT in Sports Gaming. Josh Warrington sensationally knocked out by Mauricio Lara. Stay tuned. There's a review, post-fight review, and lots more to come as we talk Warrington, Lara, and what's happened. Okay, don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. Listen, congratulations to Mauricio Lara for becoming the for beating Josh Warrington. First and foremost, he must be gutted it wasn't for a world title. Now, here comes the hot stepper. All you folk out there, I told you all, and I did tell you about Warrington signing with Matchroom. When he signed with Matchroom, I said to you all, that's a bad move. That's a bad move. He signed with Matchroom. He's one of the biggest promoter in Europe. He's one of the biggest promoter in the world. Blah, blah, blah. Warrington was better if he's kept his ass with Frank Warren, and I'll explain why. Warrington just got carved up tonight, literally carved up by Lara, carved up. You know what I mean? That's why the meat is there on the plate. You know, when you go to carvery and you just take your time, they take the time to slice the meat up. They slice it up. Prepare it for you, and the steam is coming off the meat, and then they give it to you. That's what you got with Lara right there. I don't want to hear no nonsense about, well, as Adam Smith was saying, well, you know, it's to do with the fact there was no crowd and the fact that, Warrington was inactive. We'll give him that. I'll give him that. He was inactive. Yes, he was inactive. Well, he's preparing for that unification bout. Well, wow, hold on a second. 1 minute you're telling me, this guy's never fought at the level of Josh Warrington. And you look at Josh Warrington's resume. I couldn't believe they were talking about resume. Likes of Carl Frampton. Well, Frampton was moved up in weight when he fought Warrington, so he wasn't the bigger guy in there. Lee Selby was never a puncher, right? Oh, you look at the names on Warrington's resume. Lara's never been in with a guy like that. No, he hadn't been. As a matter of fact, I'd probably argue for you, he probably was delighted to fight Josh Warrington, who more or less fights with his face. He lacks defense. He's like that, and his walks comes in straight lines. Lara was very happy at that. You've got to account for what it is. Warrington's never been the biggest puncher, and yes, he works with work rate, and yes, he comes forward and he throws lots of punches. That's great when you're coming forward against a guy who doesn't have much punching power or punching power to disrupt your work. But as soon as the first round, before Warrington got in the ring, he knew he was in with an elite puncher. Well, Navarrete was telling you all that this guy is the hardest guy that's hit me. The hardest guy that's hit me. Yeah? The hardest guy that's hit me. And that guy's a beast. And he tells you he's the hardest guy that's hit him in sparring. That there is a warning sign, 1. 2, this guy's fought recently. Warrington hadn't fought recently. 3, the matchup was completely all wrong. This is a fight you just stay away from. The only time you fight a guy like Lara is when it's a mandatory, or you fight this guy when it's absolutely necessary. This is not a guy you say, we'll take him. This is a fight that you know you're going to get carved up in. Listen, I don't care if it was Lee Selby in there. I don't care if it was Carl Frampton in there. Them guys would have got served up. Galahad would have got served up as well. See that guy? That guy's a cross between Leo Santa Cruz and Eric Morales. I'm telling you now. There was one point in the guy's actually turning southpaw. This guy was throwing straight punches, but it was the left hook. The left hook over and over and over again he was being served. It was like bang, 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 boom, hold that left hook. Bang, 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 hold that left hook. And he was working because Josh Warrington's a big featherweight, yeah? So when you got these big featherweights, guys who are big at the weight, start chopping the body, working the body. Dude, go. He'll work. He was carving Warrington to his body, then come back up to his head, and back to the body, then up to the head. And then you listen to the foolish commentary by Adam Smith. It's the, the crowd, and now he's a father of 2 kids, and Lara's never been in there with a guy like Warrington. A guy like what? A guy that is there to be hit, a guy that won't move out the way, a guy that keeps walking onto your left hook. Really? Oh, this is a shock. This guy was a devastating puncher. A devastating puncher. You were told he was a devastating puncher. He looked ungainly. What are you looking at? Listen, you are basically an expert, a pundit, an expert. You embarrass yourself every time you come on TV because you get to see this guy up close. Do you know what boxing's about? Hey, he looked ungainly. Listen, the amount of guys that in boxing, they come out of Mexico, they look ungainly. Well, Marcus Maidana wasn't really, a standard orthodox left jab, right hand type of fight, and he was dangerous. You look at where Aaron Morales used to throw his punches. He wasn't quite stand up, stiff, left jab, right hand. He did throw straight punches, but he was ungainly when he threw his punches at times, Morales. He would throw punches and come off balance, leave his chin in. Listen, that guy was dangerous. And I don't know what Adam Smith, I don't know what the Sky team are looking at when they looked at Lara. This guy was a huge... But then he says all that. Then he says, when he was hitting the pads, I could hear the power in the pads. Means the guy could punch. The guy could punch. Navarrete tells he's the hardest punch he's ever faced before. So you put that and that together. Plus Warrington's got a leaky defense. Guy's been out for 16 months. You've got an issue tonight. You've got a problem. So this wasn't the case. Even Josh Warrington with a crowd, Josh Warrington with a crowd, he probably got knocked out faster. Why? Because the adrenaline would be flowing. Now he would go out there and blast Lara out of there. Yeah? So the crowd would have got him all G'd up and more fired up. He probably walked into left hook much faster. Let me tell you something. Josh Warrington has got one of the biggest hearts I've seen in boxing. Because that guy was out on his feet. Listen, you know how hard when a guy hits you so hard that you can't put your left foot in front of your right foot, and you're thinking about where am I? That's what Warrington was thinking when he got hit with the first left hook. It's like, where am I? Where the hell? What did I get hit with? His brain was scrambled. Even when he went back to the corner, his brain was scrambled. The last time I see somebody brain scramble like that was when Nathan Cleverly fought Kovalev. So all you British fans out there that like to just ignore, throw it over and say, well, he's just a Mexican. How many great Mexicans have we seen? And if you're relying for Adam Smith to give you a report, right? If Adam Smith was to tell you, right, if you was to look at a car that had no engine in it, yeah? Adam Smith's the type of guy that will get in a car, right, and not drive it and then tell you, it's a great car, it's a fantastic car. And then when you go to get in the car and start the engine, and there's no engine, you find there's no engine, you find out that Adam Smith's been lying to you. Why does Sky keep on giving us garbage commentary and not telling us things as they are and tell us this guy is dangerous? This guy's dangerous. It's no upset. Warrington's got a leaky defense. And he's been out the ring for so long. Plus, this guy's an elite puncher. He's never fought at this level yet. When he's fighting tonight against your boy, and your boy's about to get carved up in front of you. At least Matthew Macklin had some element of honesty in him. Said, "Yeah, you know what? If the referee had stopped this fight now, he would have been all right. I could understand that." And Warrington's lucky. He'd be a lucky man if he gets through this fight. That's honesty there from Macklin. Why can't Adam Smith just see things as they actually are? Don't we have to listen to this garbage commentary? I like to listen to all to hear what else he was going to say. I don't want to hear no more about crowds. I don't hear no more about fans. I don't want to hear about any of that. Some of these guys have had amateur careers where they fought, but there's been hardly anyone in the arena. They've never had big crowds. They fight at these amateur fights. Some of these competitions, they go to these places and there's hardly any crowds. You go fight in Europe and there's no crowds, no noise, nothing. So I don't know nothing about no crowd anymore. When you're in the gym and you're sparring, where's the crowd? When you're having a hard sparring session, where's the crowd? When punches are flying left, right, and centre, where's the crowd? There ain't no crowd. You're worried about yourself getting hurt, protecting yourself at all times. That's what you're worried about as a fighter, not no damn crowd. The crowd's a secondary thing. When the punches start flying like they were flying with Lara, you think Warrington was worried about the lead support and the fans. He's probably glad he didn't have the fans there, seeing him get carved up live. I don't understand. I don't get it. And let me tell you something. There's more to come. There is more to come. At least with Frank will try and hide you. He'll try and hide you unless your ego gets too big like Nathan Cleverly, or you think that you're the best thing since sliced bread, and then you want to put yourself in the lion's den against Kovalev. Well, that's different. Then you deserve to get carved up. But this situation here with Warrington, I told you all, the minute he goes to Matchroom, is getting carved up. And a lot more than Matchroom fighters are going to get carved up because the money's just not there. For some of these guys who parade like they're fighters, it's showtime now. A lot of you guys are going to have to fight because the money's not there no more. And you all don't want to listen. You all don't want to listen. So a lot of them Matchroom guys, there's more carving up to come. They've already got bad matchmakers. They had bad matchmakers before COVID. So this is going to be apocalyptic happening in the Matchroom. And Frank's already had it. Frank's had it already. Frank's had it with Dubois. He's had it with Yard. There's a host of other guys that have fought and got carved up. And there's more carving up to come. There's more to come. But when you import carving and you don't actually read what's on the label, that's disgusting. You should get sacked for that. You should get sacked with that. That's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Jesus Christ. Proper carved up. Kiko Martinez got robbed blind tonight in terrible scenes. Well. Blueberries and upset. The robberies and upsets, he said. Tell him straight, Ingram. Tell him proper. Sky's will make excuses. Shoulder had gone. I don't care. Listen to me. His shoulder. God, don't fight. The shoulder didn't look like it had gone to me when he was catching Mauricio with them hooks. He threw one left hook here. I see the guy's head back rock out. Don't tell me nothing about no shoulder injury. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear about no shoulder injury. I don't want to hear it. Warrington felt the power and he's all night from the first round. How many times have you seen Josh Warrington in a fight look at a guy and touch his glove? At the end of the round, beginning of the fight, touching gloves. That's a guy that knew he was getting carved up. He knew he was getting carved up. He knew it. He knew it. He was watching himself, said, I'm getting knocked out tonight. I am going to get knocked out tonight. He knew it. Warrington knew it. Warrington knew it from round one. If you look carefully, the guy comes upstairs and he hits one to the body. Left hook to body, I think it is. And Warrington, you can see it on his face. And when he got hooked with shot, he kept doing it with his neck. All the telltale signs of a fighter that knew he was going to get carved up. And the problem in British boxing is people don't want to tell it like it is. They want to keep on. So just keep on. Keep listening to those channels that keep telling you that this guy is great and that guy's great and this guy's going to win this and that guy's going to win that. And then come fight night, watch him get carved up right on TV screen. There's a lot more to come. I didn't even bother watching the fight. Josh Warrington, and I like Josh Warrington, but once he went to Matchroom, I said, forget it. Forget it. That title reign is over. He's jolly good job. He didn't fight and him to make a defense with him with a title. It didn't worse. I don't talk about no rematch, please. Eddie, I hope you don't mention that man named rematch. It was bad enough when, what's his name? The boy from Ghana. Oh, he was WBO champion. Forgot his name now. Anyway, him. A WBO featherweight champion from the UK. That was on our channel a few times. Him, when he lost his title in a fight that was just a bad matchup, when I looked at Bob Arum and he turned around and said to me, yeah, we're going to put him back in there with him again. If he wins that fight, he'll get a fight in London. I thought, right, you're getting carved up again. And you saw him get carved up again. But I don't win it. No shoulder. He's not winning that fight. There is no way Warrington will ever win a fight against that guy. Just too leaky. Too leaky. Takes too many shots. And would you really want to get back in the ring with a guy like that? Really? Carved up. Don't tell me about no shoulder. Proper carved up. That's what it is. Yeah, he felt like, yeah, he probably thought he was getting hit by George Foreman, Deontay Wilder, Mike Tyson. He got proper carved up in there. And I'm not being nasty or anything. It is what it is. That was proper being carved up and served on a plate. Even at the end, when he carved at Warrington, he stood at the end, he went back and he pointed at Warrington on the floor because of the huge disrespect. When a man comes into, and he said, oh, Andrew, he came with a big entourage and he was very flamboyant. Yeah, and Navarrete told you I was the hardest guy I get hit with in sparring. Why wouldn't I be coming in? And if there was a shoulder injury as well, even worse still. Good evening, Denise Wards. How you doing? Hope you're well. Adams, it's Mr. Breen Fraud. Sky Sports Boxing, bring him what please too. Listen, I want to talk to you, Mr. Thomas. I got a slight bone to pick with you. All right, let me tell you a little story. See, that suit that you saw me wear for when I went to YouTube, that suit that you think that I have some sort of under the hand table, maybe working with some establishment. If I was an establishment man, I wouldn't be battling the way I'm battling now. Let me tell you something. I am not a thing. In fact, since you said that, that jacket is in the bin, right? I would have preferred you come straight and ask me the question than do a video on me saying that I'm this, that, and the other. If you knew my story and you knew my life like you said you did, you would have put 2 and 2 together to get 4 and not 22. So before you start calling people and putting videos out there and saying I'm establishment, think again, my friend. BWTM is based on being an independent. If I was an establishment man, I wouldn't be battling the way I battle. I'd be getting places a lot faster. Do I sound like an establishment man? Bro, man, that was disappointing from you. Real disappointing. But I guess you got to make up conspiracy theories at times. Adam Smith was saying Warren had shoulder injury. That's why the power and it was having effect on Lara. So when was Warrington a big puncher? Ever? Ingram, tell us how Paul Martinez was robbed. I didn't see that. I didn't see the fight. But I think Eddie's talking about it being robbed. Matchroom, weight choice, exposed, Warrington, got KO'd. Who's next? Carvery, Sex in the City by Eddie Hearn. Josh Kelly might be next. You know, he got carved at once already. Why have Foster still in boxing? Good question. As as Teddy Atlas said, once said, walking around the ring drunk all night after getting hit. Or as poor Adam Smith said, when Nas got hit by Barrera, he was walking around or dancing around the ring like a Saturday night drunk. They did not take Lara seriously. Featherweight is the most popular and dominant weight class in Mexico. Yeah, and that guy was fighting regularly in Mexico. You from Leeds wants to go toe to toe with a Mexican. Really? You want to go toe to toe with a Mexican and think you're going to come out on top? Think again. You're damn right it's my life, brother. But at least if it's going to be about my life and you're going to say something about me, please, and you say you're a brother, at least do the right thing and paint me in the light that I am rather than a light that I'm not. Just want to put that very clear out there. Anybody on BWTM would make that quite clear that I'm not an establishment man. Far from it. And that jacket that I bought because I thought it looked nice. I didn't really wear it to represent the triangles. I just liked it. I thought it looked cool. Didn't look at it. But now once I've thought about it and you showed me the video, I'm like, the jacket went in the bin the next day. So I just wanted to let you know that. Joshua Boaxi's like, oh yeah, he's coming. Boaxi's coming. He'll get carved up as well. Listen, you got to understand something about boxing. You know, it's like the UK is split between SmackDown and Raw. Remember I said to you a long time ago, boxing is like WWE? It's turning like WWE. Well, it is like WWE. You look at this situation now. You got Matchroom and you got BT Sports with Frank Warren, Queensbury. That's what it is. And this is how it goes. This is the line. If you want to get promoted well, go to Eddie Hearn. And get paid well, go to Eddie Hearn. if you want to get managed right and get the right fights and get a world title fight and get more of a chance of being a world champion and having record title defenses and not getting beat, go to Frank Warren. Yeah, as long as you can fight, it's cool. You might not get paid as much. You will have a long reign. You'll fight a lot of guys that are probably past it. Frank will give you an education in the sport. Frank will look after you. You'll get smashed. You're on a fast ticket to getting smashed to bits with Matchroom. Facts. I told you this way long time ago. Go and look at my video about what I said about Josh Warrington signing with Matchroom. And everyone came in and said, what are you talking about? He's got in the Matchroom. He's one of the biggest, best promoter in the world. Might be the best promoter. But they're clueless. Absolutely clueless when it comes to managing matchmaking. Absolutely clueless. Haven't a clue about matchmaking. I've told you already, more fights are going to happen with in that situation with Matchroom. It's not about whether you can fight or not. Even if you can fight and you are a good fighter, they're going to stick you in the ring with guys who are better than you when it's not even in your season. So the sort of guy, see, I would fight Lara. Here's how I fight Lara. I fight Lara on 2 weeks' notice and just put it on him when he's like 12 pounds overweight. That's why I fight Lara. And then know that he's weight drained, coming down in fight. That's when I fight Lara. That's the sort of tricks you've got to do. But you don't take Lara on who's been fighting recent. No. And you've been out 16 months. What should have happened to Lara in that night, Warrington that night? What I would have done is have Warrington come back on a fight against a guy who was a non-puncher and come back and get him back in the ring, preparing for Lara if you're going to fight Lara. But to come after 16 months and go and fight that guy, you're crazy. Even a Josh Warrington that was super fit and ready to go would have still got carved up because that's a bad matchup for Warrington. Bad matchup, real bad matchup. Warrington would have probably been better. Warrington would have probably been better if he had fought like Gary Russell Jr. or Shakur Stevenson. Those guys are the better for Warrington because they don't have that kind of punching power. With Gary Russell Jr., he probably would have dazzled Warrington a 5-6 punch combination. And the other guy, Shakur Stevenson, probably outmaneuvered him and stuff. But this guy was just brutal. He was coming to carve you up, and that's it. So there's no... And I wonder how much Warrington got paid for that fight. Warrington will never be the same fighter again after that. Fights like that, you're never the same fighter again. Never the same fighter again. Never. And the corner work as well. The guy went back to the corner. He was out on his feet. And he literally was fighting. When that happens, when a guy's like that out on his feet, he's fighting on pure instinct. And it's all about the essence of a man after that. He's literally fighting for his life. When Warrington went back to his corner, that round, after that, he was fighting for his life. It's the essence of the man inside that kept him up. And they say you never know how good an unbeaten fighter is until they're put in a situation like that. And he rallied back in the fight as well. He rallied back. He was able to sting Lara, but he just isn't a one-punch knockout artist. So Warrington's got balls of steel, but you don't really need to be seeing that. There was no need for him to fight that guy. That's another one off the books, I guess. That's what you get when you're chasing money. Chasing money ahead of your health. Are you missing the boxing Top Rank and DAZN? My boy Richard Coby's fighting tonight, isn't he? Richard Coby's fighting tonight. Time is it? Yeah, I want to see Richard Coby fight tonight. Being trained by Andre Rozier. I know Richard Coby for a long time. So when I spoke to Richard Coby, he told me that, he's looking forward to making a comeback and fighting. And it's Jackson Martinez, isn't he, he's fighting? Matchroom Boxing, New Jack City of UK. KL season for fighters. Why fighting UK don't go PBC on Top Rank in USA? They leave Warren and go to Eddie Hearn like he God. Yeah, because they don't think about it. And the people that are behind these fighters, they thinking money, quick payment, quick payouts, good quick money. But they don't understand. They're putting the fighter in the line of fire with people who don't know how to matchmake. So your career is in jeopardy. The minute you sign a contract with them, you're going to get your ass whooped. Only a matter of time. It's like if you go to Freddie, it's like when you go to Freddie Roach, you're signing up to get yourself knocked out. If you've never been knocked out in your career, you sign up to get knocked out when you're with Freddie Roach because he don't teach defense. He teaches you how to get yourself knocked out. But that's what it is. People don't like what I'm saying. It just is what it is. So you leave Warren, you leave the safety of Warren, and then you go and put yourself in the fire. And after you can't fight. That's why I said to Ryan Charlton, said to him, you know what? Make sure when you sign your contract with Matchroom that they guide your career. Yeah, I want to get paid good fights. Yeah, okay. You're gonna get paid good and get smashed to bits. That's what it is. This is the new world of boxing. If you can't fight, you're gonna get found out. And if you can fight, you've got to fight with your life in your hands. That's why you need a good manager. Just going to say, no, we ain't taking that fight. No, we're not taking that fight. We'll swerve. We're going to take it. But if you're a fighter that's after the money and has got no personality and have got no marketing skills, the guys I talked to today that will watch this video, listen, some of you are going to use as journeyman. You're going to get used up and carved up like journeyman. That's what's going to happen. If you don't have a good manager and you've got to have a plan and a vision. Where are you going? Where do you need to get to? That you have enough cojones or enough integrity within yourself to say, you know what? I'm not taking this fight. I'm not prepared. I've got a shoulder injury. This is this. I'm cancelling the fight. I'm not fighting. I need to be out. Oh, well, you're going to have to take this fight, mate. If you don't fight this fight, then you're not going to promote your game. Fine. Don't promote me. I'm going elsewhere. I'll go elsewhere. Remember, the promoter's not fighting for you. You're just another body. If you can look at it that way, listen, fighters, you're just another body. You get knocked out, okay, who else is on the books? Okay, who else is on the books? These guys, their careers, their families are sorted. You know what I mean? Their loved ones are sorted. Their generation to generation is looked after. You're just adding to that wealth. You're just a speck of dust to them. A body, another body with a brain and fist that can fight. That's what it is. The ones that are going to make it through this next generation of boxing are going to be ones who are smart, who can promote themselves, who can fight, but don't engage in too many fights that are going to shorten their careers. There's a lot of careers that you think would have gone years and years and years that are going to be shortened because of what's happening now. Unless you're even if you're a very good fighter, you've got to be careful. Yeah, I can fight. Yeah, okay, you can fight. So can all them hungry Mexicans that are waiting there. See them hungry Mexicans that have been training and waiting for opportunities, to fight. Come over here and whoop your ass and then go back home. Yeah, the season is turning. There's a change in the season. How did Warren lose control to Hearn? Hearn's got money. Hearn will pay. Hearn's working in Sky Sports. Hearn's got Sky Sports. So automatically when you've got Sky Sports, you know, you can give the platform to all the fighters. That's what happens. You know, and then you remember he had Box Nation. He had Box Nation. So he was able to use Box Nation with Box Nation. Shout out to Max P. He joins Box Nation. Yes, Box Nation and Queensbury. Do you remember when Frank had Box Nation? And you had that list of all those fighters, Cleverly, Chisora, that whole load of them there was sat outside. I was standing outside. Remember that picture? Box Nation. Box Nation was okay. But the problem with Box Nation was they had the wrong people involved at Box Nation. They had the old dinosaurs at Box Nation. And they bring them same dinosaurs and put them on BT Sports instead of having young, lively, diverse. They need diversity. So now they bring David Hay on BT Sports and a couple of others. But they need people who can talk about the sport. I'm telling you now, mark my words, the first boxing channel, I mean like a Matchroom or BT Sports or Sky Sports, the first one that can actually tap into YouTube properly, they're dunces. The people they've got there are absolute dents. Because if it was me, I'd have been having a YouTube booth and having YouTubers, like big YouTubers, analyzing who know the sport of boxing, get them in a booth, get one guy supporting one guy supporting another guy, and all their subscribers are tuning in to watch them on Sky or BT Sports. That's how you drive subscriptions up. That's how you get more people into boxing. Because you get more people into boxing that actually know about boxing. People are getting cheesed off with all this YouTube stuff with guys who can't fight, making a mockery of the sport. Instead, why don't you get some educated people in boxing who's going to talk about boxing in a way that's going to educate the fans more than the guys you've got actually sitting down on their ass feeling that they're boxing experts at Sky Sports. Or Steve Bunce, who wants to educate us on black history. What the hell? Don't even get me started. Don't get me started. Integrate YouTube into boxing in the right way. And you don't think he's real smart. Oh yeah, I'm going to use the KIS and I'm going to promote that way. No, these guys, integrate your YouTubers and get them into boxing that way. Keep them out in the ring. Keep them outside the ring, commentating. Get them reporting the fights. Send them to interview fighters. That would work. But you all go to university and you all got your PhDs and you think you're all smart, but you ain't smart. I'm going to have to educate you all. Matchroom, if you want to do something smart, for once, get a proper decent matchmaker. Get a decent matchmaker, build your pay-per-view fighters, right? Build your pay-per-view fighters, because at the moment, you've got a stable that looks very, very rocky. And you don't like what I've got to say, but I don't give a damn, right? I'm telling you what it is, and you might not like it, and you may have a lot of money. But if you're talking about a business and your accountants, it don't add up. Why would you sign a whole heap of fighters to get smashed to bits when you could make them into pay-per-view fighters? Why would you get your huge cash cow, which was Anthony Joshua, to go and fight Andy Ruiz, who was such a good fighter, who was a damn good fighter, had a great chin, great left hook, and was going to knock your guy out? It was a terrible matchup. If Anthony Joshua had won that fight that night, his brand would have taken a beating it's taken now. Fans have not forgiven Anthony Joshua for going to America and getting smashed the way he did. They won't. They haven't forgiven him. And his brand has been hurt by it because of the era we're in today. So when you turn around and talk about, oh, we're going to get YouTubers in, or we're going to start selling to the casual crowd. Yeah, well, the casual crowd are fickle because they don't know what they're watching. And you build up these fighters, right, into something that they're not. And when they get destroyed, the fans get destroyed and they get disheartened because fans get attached to fighters. Tell them the truth. Be honest. Stop lying. Stop lying to the fans. Stop lying. Stop lying. Stop lying. Get decent matchmakers into your stable, Matchroom. Get decent matchmakers. Build, have a vision. If you are going to stay in boxing, maybe you're not invested in boxing. Maybe you're looking to make a quick getaway. You know, grab, smash and grab, because at the moment it looks like smash and grab you got there. And you're not going to stick around for another 10 years. But if you are going to stick around for the next 10 years, build a stable of fighters. If you're going to have the platform for Sky Sports, build a stable of fighters. Build a stable of fighters that are earmarked for pay-per-view. The same thing is going to happen to Lawrence Okoli. The same thing is going to happen to Joshua Buatsi. I've been telling you all this for ages. What makes them different to Kell Brook? What makes them different to Anthony Joshua? What makes them different to Josh Warrington? They're all getting carved up. Who's the other guy that got carved up? Another world champion, IBF champion. Not Kid Galahad, the other one. Got actually carved up. Nobody talks about him anymore. The lower weight division. He went and fought Chocolatito. What the hell is he doing fighting Chocolatito? Yeah, it was a payday. It was a payday. Who's going to get carved up? So what for? You go for your whole boxing career, you fight as an amateur, you turn pro, you have big ideas of becoming a world champion, and then what you do, you get some promoter to stick you in with a fight that gets you carved up. And you probably didn't make as much money as you thought you were going to make. So a lot of you guys that are spending time on Instagram, taking your pictures, okay, fine. Just taking your mind. Just make sure that there is a vision as to where you're going. What do you want to do and how you're going to achieve it? And are you prepared to walk away from your contract or walk away from the fight you're being offered to preserve your career? Slow and steady will win this race. And you a fast car Eddie is going to take you fast car to hell. If you stay with Frank, then you might not get the same exposure, but you last a bit longer. And you probably rack up 8, 9, 10 defenses of your title, and you can probably, swerve a lot of fights. That's what it is. People don't want to hear this stuff. They don't want to hear it, but watch it. I wonder who's going to be first to do it and say, it was our idea. You heard it first here. I missed the fight. Warrington will never be the same again thanks to Eddie Hearn and bad matchmaking. Well, I told you they've got garbage matchmakers. Said it before, say it again. Might not like it, but it is what it is. I don't like your matchmaking personally. I think you do a great job promoting. I think you do a fantastic job promoting, but your matchmakers are garbage. That's just what it is. And the Franklin should call locksmith matchmaker in boxing and matchroom slave contract. No COVID season. KO COVID season. That's it. She can't call COVID season. Yeah, I heard he doesn't like me, but I don't care. Thank you so much, Mark P, for investing in BWTM. Appreciate that. I missed the fight. How did it play out? Warrington got carved up in front of us. Lara was older than UK weather. No, he wasn't. I think Lara's about 22, 23. He's a youngster. He ain't old. Eddie gets you paid, and that ultimately what fighters want. Nobody's interested in legacy anymore. Legacy don't put your grandchildren through school. Yeah, but the problem is when you take that fast car route, you might not be able to see your grandchildren because it's the miles on the clock. You might not be able to put that money through. Do you understand? I don't know. I don't know. But you see, there's a way and a way. You can get paid. I'm not saying you don't get paid. That's how you get paid. If you leave it to them to do the matchmaking, you'll get paid once and you won't get paid again. It's about getting paid, but how you get paid. In other words, the choices you make and having a strong manager behind you that won't allow you to be used as a punching bag. I know people in boxing that I talk to. I'm telling you, professional fighters that I talk to that haven't got a clue about vision. They don't like themselves. Because if they like themselves, they think, hold on a second. My career's not going right here. I need to do better for myself. I need to invest. So what you do, you invest in a decent trainer, a good trainer. If you're going to fight, it's going to be hard. You need the tools. So you need a good trainer and you need a good publicity team. Good trainer, good publicity team, good manager. Yeah, and if you can get some of that stuff for free or half price, you take it. You don't spit in its face. That's something for you to listen and learn from. If anyone in chat wants to learn, there's an interview on BWTM with Eddie Hearn where he's asked if he's man managing Kell Brook before he managed Kell Brook. Well, I called it. People don't want to hear truth. People just want to hear agendas. And people say, "Oh, you hate Matchroom." No, I don't hate Matchroom. I hate BS. I hate lies. I hate propaganda. And what's in the dark always comes out to light. And I just don't care no more. I just don't. I'm fed up. Back in the day, I cared about what people thought about what I thought about me and whether they liked me and whether they liked what I was doing. I just don't give a damn anymore. I don't give a damn because whether you like me or don't like me doesn't make a difference in what the opinion is. The opinion is still the opinion. And fact is still a fact. Do you understand? The fact is still a fact. If you're not managing fighters properly, it shows. Think of Ted Cheeseman. What's the guy? The guy from up north, the new Golovkin. Josh Kelly's going to get carved up. Josh Kelly will get carved up. Wait, he'll get carved up too. If Joshua got carved up, Kell Brook got carved up, and these are guys that were supposedly filling out arenas. If those guys are getting carved up, who are you who just get signed? No chance. What makes you immortal? Huh? Tyson Fury is probably the only guy, right, who can have half a year out of the ring, a year out of the ring, and come back and still look okay. Because he's done it before. David Hayes is another one that can do it. There's some fighters that can pull it off, that can be out of the ring a while and still come back and still look decent and fiddle their way around and get the job done. But not every fighter can do that. Ingram always tells it like it is. I have to. Matchroom, Fast Millions, KO season, Wheel of Fortune, Sin City to get KO soon. When come Matchroom, Weight Choice, Matchmaking, Love Blind Date. Okay. Is Warrington's dad detrimental to his development? I don't think you can say that. How can you say that? It's difficult to say something like that because he can't be detrimental now when he was the guy that guided Warrington to beating Frampton and, you know, Kiko Martino. Or was Kiko Martinez? I think Kiko Martinez, I thought Martinez beat him that fight. But the other guys he's fought, the Selby fight, it's because he was bigger and stronger. When you look at it, he's bigger, stronger, and overpowered those guys. Now you met a guy that was not bigger, but just more powerful. And he couldn't just walk forward. And even when he did walk forward and throw punches, those guys were able to absorb it and come forward. That was the problem. Remember when Hearn said Anthony Fowler was the new Carl Froch? Jesus Christ. He's a guy, I told you, that's a guy that don't know about boxing. Listen, any man that can tell you on the day of a fight, when the contracts have been signed, the way it's been done, and the two guys are just waiting to fight, that can go down the camera and look at you, I still don't believe the fight's going to happen. When he said that Fury and Fury and Wilder weren't going to happen, he was sitting looking down the camera, straight in the camera, and says, I don't believe that fight's going to happen. Any man that can sit down and tell that to you will tell you both-facedly lie about anything and everything. The two guys have weighed in, and all they have to do is do the ring walk for the fight to happen. And he looks you in the eye and tells you, the fight's not going to happen. I still don't believe it. I won't believe it until they make the ring walk. They're probably in the ring and fight, and he'll probably get on the phone and tell you, nah, they're two guys in the fight. I don't listen to him talk. I don't listen. I don't watch his interviews. I'm not interested. I'm not interested. Until I see change, until I see fights being managed properly. Yeah. Tyson Fury, any signing Eddie Hearn top rank? I don't know. Warrington will split. Dad will split. Eddie Hearn, get rid of him. They say matchroom trainers Tony Sims. Oh Lord. So now what they do now? I had this story that Danny Dubois is going with what's the boy's name? Not Tony Sims, the other one. Tibbs. Let's go, Mark Tibbs. Okay. But I don't know. It's not physical with Dubois. It's mental and emotional with Dubois. Tibbs has got a heart. He's got a difficult task ahead of him. Tibbs is going to have to literally father Dubois. You got to understand certain fighters. Dubois needs a father figure. Dubois needs somebody. I don't think it's a good match. I don't think it's a good matchup. Dillian White, yes. Dubois, no. I think Dubois needs somebody who's like, he needs more of a really older type guy, like a Don Turner, you know, a Tommy Brooks, Don Turner, Tommy Brooks, James Ali Bashir. That type of a guy he needs now, an older mental figure, not Tibbs. Tibbs is a good trainer, but that's not, it's more of the same. He needs somebody who can really reach in there, because he was badly exposed, Danny Dubois, badly exposed when he had that Joyce fight. He was like a little boy. If you go back and watch the whole, when they're around the table, the Joyce and Dubois was like a little kid around the table. He was like a little kid in a grown man's body. It was just horrible. And I saw that, I thought, no, not yet. Maybe when Dubois gets about 30, he might really come into his own. But for now, he really quickly needs a father type figure with him. He really does. I don't think it's a good move. Anthony Fowler put my boxing gym on the map. Wow, amazing. When will Joyce be undisputed? Don't know. After he beats Usyk, I guess. Fury v AJ won't happen in 2023. Eddie Hearn like bull Chinese empty shop. Dubois need Adam's move. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. What's Adam Booth going to teach him? What's Adam Booth going to teach him? Adam Booth teaches one type of style. You got to study your coaches. Booth teaches one type of style. So can you imagine a big lump like Dubois trying to move like David Hay? Bro, study your boxing. Study your trainers. Study the sport. Do your research. Booth is not going to be able to work with Dubois. Dubois is slow of hand and foot. That's Dubois. Dubois needs someone like Bashir or Brooks or who's going to teach him defense. Going to teach him how to slip, move his head, teach him defense. Booth's going to teach him all this sort of stuff. That's not going to work. There's only so far Booth can take a guy, and Booth needs guys who can punch and can move. Watch the guys Booth trains. That's why Booth could never do nothing with. If he couldn't do anything with David Price, what the hell is he going to do with him? No, man. No. I wonder if we could have ever seen a Mike Tyson if Tyson and Freddie Rage are not Customada, not for the expertise, but also for the care. Well, you know, Roach did well with Pacquiao. Do you understand? But everyone is looking for that same stuff with Pacquiao. Some guys, if you look at most trainers, they have a trademark. Most good trainers got a trademark fighter. So Virgil Hunter was Andre Ward. Roach was Pacquiao. Customado was Tyson, and Floyd Patterson. You know, you have I don't know, maybe Angela Dundee, maybe Ray Leonard. Don't know. But there's certain fighters, when you look at Adam Booth, you'd say David Hay, that's his trademark fighter. He took Adam Booth as David Hay. He's not George Grove so much. Adam Booth, David Hay. That's it there. You talk Tunde Ajayi, you're talking Anthony Yard. There you got these trademark fighters. Trainers got trademark fighters. They're the ones that they've put the most effort in and they've spent the most time with. And that's what they've done with it. Where do you rate Liverpool as a boxing city? Very high. Very high. They've had some very good fighters. I mean, there was one guy I used to love a lot. His name was, there's two guys from Liverpool I liked a lot. Andy Holligan and Paul Hodgkinson. Two guys from Liverpool. I used to watch all the time. Loved them. You know, really good fighters. Really good fighters. So two Liverpudlian fighters. Hodgkinson and Andy Holligan. Yeah. Dubois, sadly, hasn't got the minerals. He's got the minerals, but he shouldn't have you as his coach. Dubois needs Luz Ortiz trainer. He's a good trainer. Really? Really? I don't know about that. If you could see one fight in 2021, what would it be? Mike Tyson versus Anthony Joshua. And I'll tell you why. Historically, and just the question for 3 rounds. If Mike could get himself into the greatest shape ever, if Mike could slip the jab just once, slip it, get inside and throw one of them big punches, could he hurt? Could he tag? And could he knock out Anthony Joshua? If I could, I'll roll the dice and say, don't fight Evander Holyfield. Might get yourself in great shape and just have this one fight against Anthony Joshua. If I see you getting beat up, I'll stop the fight. But for 3 rounds, go out there and give him every piece of what you got. For one night, just go. And if he did it, he'd be the oldest heavyweight champion in history. Could you imagine how much money that fight would make? Old era, new era. Biggest, I mean, Does that fight make more money than Joshua versus Fury? I don't know, but there might be an argument for that. That's what I would like to see. If there's any fight possible, I'll do it. I'll be the matchmaker and make the fight. I'd say, Mike, listen, you've got the power. You can take this guy with one shot if you can get close. He doesn't move like Joshua doesn't move a bit like Lennox Lewis. He'd have to be on the jab and move, but his jab is not as good as Lennox's, and he's there to get hit. I mean, could it happen? Could Mike has only fought recently? Could it happen? One fight? Could he really become heavyweight champion of the world? I'd love to see it. Love to see it. Wilder Fury? Yeah, well, we've seen it twice already. Tyson Fury, 2021. LOL, Jones has officially lost it. Really? Why have I lost it? Did you tune in to see Tyson versus Rory Jones? Did you tune in and watch that? You say I've lost it. What was the biggest grossing fight? What's been the biggest grossing fight this year? Or last year? Yeah, last year, this year. What's the biggest grossing fight? Come back and talk to me about the numbers when you talk about officially lost it. Oh, I also officially lost it when I said Tyson Fury should give up all the belts and defend the Ring Magazine belt. What did the man actually end up doing? I'm talking about the business of boxing. You'll talk about some, I don't know what. Does an empty COVID crowd benefit any boxer, affect judges, etc.? And should corners adapt to the lack of noise in case the opposite fighter hears the plan? That's a point. That's a good question. But let me ask you a question. How many crowds are there when they're doing sparring? When you're sparring week in, week out, where's the crowds? So I don't get it. I don't understand this crowd thing. The commentators are making it bigger than it actually is. Yeah, there is some effect. In some ways, some fighters are being affected by the crowds and they're nervous because they have to deliver. Now, some guys, there's no crowd. They're like, wow, I don't have any crowds. I don't have to worry about these people watching me. I could just go about my business. So it's swings and roundabouts, really. Don't tell me Tyson Joshua is better than Charlo Canelo. All right. What brings more money into the table? What brings more money to the table? I'll tell you what, you have Canelo and Charlo, I'll have Tyson and Joshua. Right? How many arenas has Charlo sold out? How many arenas has Charlo sold out? How many pay-per-views has Charlo been on? How many times has Charlo been considered the baddest man on the planet? Huh? You've got two guys there. Canelo got beat by Mayweather, and we don't know how good Charlo is, and I love Charlo. With Mike Tyson and Anthony Joshua, you've got the baddest man on the planet versus the guy who's the heavyweight champion of the world. Both guys know how to sell out an arena. In business, this makes more sense than Charlo Canelo. Who's Charlo fought? I love Charlo. Who's he fought to bring money to the table? I love Charlo. Charlo's like in my top 5. But don't tell me Charlo sells more than Tyson Joshua. Now you're talking rubbish. Oh, Charlo versus Canelo. Now you're talking rubbish. Andre Ward versus AJ. Virgil said Andre Ward would beat AJ. Yeah. Listen, Ward's my boy. Ward is my boy, but Ward. Wow, that is a point. That schools a fan who doesn't know boxing, respect him, good. Well, talking business, what sells? When you listen to boxing, it's said over and over and over again, we're told this fight doesn't sell. It doesn't bring in a gate. It doesn't bring in pay-per-view. Mike Tyson and Anthony Joshua, they both ticket sellers. Both ticket sellers. It tells you something. In 2021, that Canelo versus GGG will be worth more than Charlo versus Canelo. It's worth more. Because people know about GGG, people know about Canelo. Both guys have had that sort of exposure. Charlo's still building that. GGG's been on many cards around the world, and you know, people still believe that GGG is he beat Canelo. So there's a third fight. So I guarantee GGG versus Canelo makes more money than your Charlo fight. You go ahead and make your Charlo fight. I'll make GGG versus Canelo. And I'm not a big GGG fan, as you know, but that makes more money. That's business we're talking now. It would be If you would put Tyson 55 in the ring with prime Joshua, that's highly irresponsible. Really, highly irresponsible. More irresponsible than the fight with that girl who couldn't fight on that DAZN card. I think now you're talking rubbish. That girl that was on the DAZN card, which you were quite happy to sit down and watch, get her actually whooped, get beat up. That fitness first girl. Is it irresponsible? Is it really a guy that can fight? A guy that can knock you out of either hand is irresponsible, is it? Against a guy who's not got a good chin, is it responsible? Is it? Okay, you sit there. You sit there with your morally high self about it's irresponsible. It was irresponsible tonight to put Josh Warrington in with a man carved him up. That was irresponsible. It was irresponsible to put Anthony Joshua in the ring with Andy Ruiz. That was irresponsible. It was irresponsible to put Eggington in with quite a few fighters. That was irresponsible. Shall we keep talking about irresponsibility? So you talk about I'm highly irresponsible. You're a bit of a hypocrite, aren't you? You're a bit of a hypocrite, aren't you? I said to you 3 rounds. I said, Mike, if I see you getting hurt, I'm pulling you out of there. I said 3 rounds. I didn't say, Mike, fight for 12 rounds. So I've given you the premise as to why I'm putting Mike in the ring there. Mike, for 3, you asked me what fight I'd like to see if I could see. Mike Tyson, 2021, in shape, just come off fighting Roy Jones, 3 rounds. I'm saying, Mike, don't you sell the fight as a 12 rounder to the fans? But Mike, 3 rounds, you got to give it a go. You got to give it a go. If I see you getting hurt, if I see you getting beat up, listen, we stop the fight and pull you out there. You got 3 rounds. So how's that irresponsible? At least I'm giving him a way out. The Warrington fight, there was no way out for Warrington. At least people say, you know, Mike's 55 years old. You know, Mike gave it his all. I can sell that to the fans. I can sell that. Mike Tyson fights Anthony Joshua. You tell me that wouldn't sell. Get out of here, man. Why would Crusher Kovalev never move up to heavyweight division if he was the killer light heavyweight division? HBO hype city. Good question. I don't know. I always thought Kovalev was on something. That's what I felt. I always felt he was on something, but that's neither here nor there. So if you want to talk about, so can you come back to me about this stuff highly irresponsible? Well, come on, come back to me about being highly irresponsible. Come on. I'm waiting to hear you come back for highly irresponsible. And I bet if you saw Mike Tyson, and I bet you wouldn't get in the ring and fight with Mike Tyson. If Mike said, "Come on, let's fight," 55-year-old Mike Tyson, the Mike Tyson that was on them pads. I said 3 rounds. 3 rounds. That's all. 3 rounds. Mike, just go out there. And as soon as you're getting hurt, I see you get hit with big shots, pulling you out of there. Taking each round as it goes. But time it is. And remember, Joshua himself, he's fighting Mike Tyson. So he's that element there that Joshua will be thinking, oh, I'm fighting Mike Tyson here. I'm fighting Mike Tyson here. Number one, no one wants to see Joshua splatter a legend like Tyson. That's just wrong. Oh my God. No one wants to see it. Just like nobody wanted to see Mike Tyson fight Roy Jones, yeah? Get out of here, man. Stop talking. Get out of here, man. Get out of here. Get out of here. The irresponsible aspect is a mooted point when we have McGregor-Mayweather type bouts happening in boxing. Mayweather should have gotten Oscar for that bout. Exactly. So we watch McGregor, who'd never boxed before, or really at that level, against the best ever. Or for our era. You told me that wasn't responsible. Okay. I think it's highly irresponsible to put Manny Pacquiao in the ring with Ryan Garcia. I mean, that's highly irresponsible. But that's just me. Stevenson versus Kovalev should have been for undisputed light heavyweight title. Winner should have moved up to light heavyweight. Heavyweight. No, I don't agree with you on that. What happened in Glenn McCrory comeback BWTM? Don't know. He's meant to be coming back and fighting Roy Jones, isn't he? Or Evander Holyfield. But Holyfield's now going to fight Tyson. So, yeah. There's a skill set that's just not taught today. There's a skill set that's not been taught today. You know, Joshua's not as skilled as Lennox Lewis. Never has been. I don't think he ever will be. He doesn't carry. He doesn't have this. You see what happens as soon as Joshua gets hit on the chin, to the body and to the head. He gets hit on the chin. He just freezes. He doesn't know. He's like Bruno, but without a jab. No. I think it's a gamble. You asked me a question and I answered the question. You asked me a question and I gave you an answer. I didn't answer the question based on whether you'd like what I would say. I didn't give an answer based on whether it would satisfy your opinion. I didn't give an answer based on whether it would make you shake your head like a nodding dog and say, yeah, Ingram, I agree with that. You asked me a fight that I could see, if I could see what it would be. And I said, Mike Tyson versus Anthony Joshua. And I gave you the reason. I gave you the premise of why I saw it. I said, well, I'm aware he's old. He's an old man now. But also gave you the premise. It's a 3-round fight. Go in there and do your business. 3 rounds. And if you're getting hurt, I'm going to pull you out there. 3 rounds. What's wrong with that? I didn't turn around and say to you, I want Mike Tyson there in a 12-rounder against Anthony Joshua. Okay, so we sell it as a 12-round fight. Yeah, for the heavyweight championship of the world. Great. 1 night only. 1 night only. And if I can't get that, then I want to see Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua. If I can't get that. Yeah. So yeah, that's what it is. That's what it's at. Sometimes I don't understand. Listen, if you don't want to ask my opinion on something, just don't ask it. But don't ask my opinion and then expect me to answer how you want me to answer. So that's not really answering me a question. Ask yourself the question and then you'll get the answer that pleases your spirit. But don't come and ask me a question and then afterwards expect me to give you an answer that you want to hear. I'm not here for that. If you really want the answer that you really want inside your gut, you know what? I advise you, Mr. P, do yourself a favor. Go on your phone and push the button called microphone and push record. And then ask yourself the same question and then say, I want to see Charlo versus Canelo. Boop. And then play it back to yourself and there's your answer. And then you can be happy. Then you can be happy with your highly moral, righteous self in who is ludicrous and who is crazy for thinking that Mike Tyson should fight Anthony Joshua. My opinion. And I did clearly state at the beginning what it was about. I clearly stated, very clearly, a 3-rounder. Sold as the heavyweight champion of the world to the fans. So everyone choosing to see the fight. Mike Tyson, we all know what Mike can do. People even said that Mike was holding back against Roy Jones. So if Mike was holding back against Roy Jones, then I'd like to see Mike not holding back. Just for 1 night. For entertainment purposes, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but would you like to see Tyson like Adonis Stevenson? Now, you see, now you're talking without knowledge. Let me educate you about that fight. Maybe I won't. Maybe I won't. Let's put it this way. When you sack your full-time fitness trainer just for some mate to come in and get you fit for a fight, then that's what happens. Do you see how Adonis Stevens was blowing at his ass against Gavotsky? Listen, don't try and educate me, son. I can tell you what happened in that fight. And I'll tell you exactly what happened in that fight. But Stevenson lost that fight because he cut corners. Because he was badly advised. And he cut corners when he shouldn't have cut corners. And that is why today Adonis Stevenson is where he is today. Nobody wants to tell you that. But just take it from me. That's what it is. So don't come and try and tell me yet again and educate me when I know about this situation. I know Adonis Stevenson. Would you like another schooling? Or would you just like to say, you know what? Thank you, sir. Class dismissed. Come back to me again. No sympathy. You've got a coach that's been with you for how many years of your life, got you to the top of the mountain, got you to become the best or most dangerous light heavyweight in the world. You've got a left hand that can take a guy to the moon and back. You decide to sack him because someone in the team, somebody new to the team, doesn't like him. Somebody who's unqualified in boxing tells you, get rid of him. You're a professional fighter. This guy stuck by you and you sack him to bring in some unqualified guy to get you fit. Really? No sympathy. No. You don't play for your life like that. Straight up. What should we do? Sympathize for nonsense? Come on. Thank God he recovered, Stephen. God is good. Absolutely. 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 And, you know, I was closer to that situation than you may think. So when you want to come out and make these grandiose statements like, oh, Stevenson, think before you engage in conversation, particularly when you talk about things you don't know about. Not good. So, enough, man. Stop trying to be clever. Stop trying to be clever for entertainment. So if it's not for entertainment purposes, what purpose is it for? Boxing is for entertainment purposes. What is it for? What in your mind? If boxing is not for entertainment purposes, what is it for? Huh? Can you explain to me? Let me read this statement again. Wait. Let me bring this statement again. For entertainment purposes, yeah, I understand what you're saying. You asked my opinion. First of all, this started by you asking me my opinion as to what fight I'd like to see in 2021. And then I told you. And then you called me crazy, ludicrous, ridiculous. And then you got on a moral high ground. So when you got schooled on those two levels, then you decide to go out your comfort zone and start talking about what you didn't know about. Bro, don't even bother. Don't even try it now. Ingram badding up the view schooling in cooling TM in classroom today. All I'm saying is, personally, I wouldn't feed a 55-year-old Tyson to a prime Joshua. Well done. You wouldn't personally feed. Listen, bro. Warrington got fed. Warrington can't punch. Leaky defense. And hadn't fought for 16 months. That's what you call being fed to an elite puncher who takes a great shot and keeps coming and works the body and head. That's what you call getting fed. Mike Tyson, who for all we say about Mike Tyson, has got a great punch, knows how to slip and get inside, and knows how to attack body and head, and is a vicious finisher, even at 55 years old. Against the Anthony Joshua that we know, when you get on inside of him, doesn't know what to do. I take my chances. I don't know if Tyson's been fed to Joshua. I don't think that Joshua's got the skill set, personally, to deal with that. If Mike gets on the inside, of course, if Mike stays on the outside and can't get past the jab, and Joshua starts kicking with uppercuts and right hands, oh, yeah, right, fine, cool. I get you. I understand that. But just for the purposes, and I think then you're looking at why I wouldn't put Mike in with someone like Tyson Fury is because then it gets messy. Tyson will tie him up and mess him around and footwork and make Mike miss, and that won't be entertaining. But Mike versus Joshua, that's entertaining because you've seen Joshua go down. You've seen he's vulnerable to a left hook. And don't tell me Andrew Ruiz throws a better left hook than Mike Tyson. Come on. So for entertainment purposes and those purposes alone, Mike Tyson versus Anthony Joshua, they ain't such a bad fight for 3 rounds. You know what? I should become a promoter. Let's sell the fight. You know, you've got history there. Can Mike become the oldest heavyweight champion of history? A 55-year-old. And would you bet your life that Joshua bads up Tyson? Or would you bet your life that Joshua would knock Tyson out in those first 3 rounds? I'm just saying to you, it's an interesting fight. It's an entertaining fight. It's one I wouldn't mind seeing. But I know if Joshua can keep him on the outside of the jab, hit him with the uppercut in the right hand, and keep Mike onto shots, it's bad for Mike. And that's why I said 3 rounds. I can't believe that I'm hearing, LOL, timing is everything in boxing. Apparently Tyson can roll back the clock of 20 years. There's an expression. You know, bro, you truly are more educated than me. I'll give you that. They say I can't have this conversation with you no more, right? Because you're beating me with brilliance. You're absolutely beating me with brilliance. Your levels of understanding are far beyond outreaching me. So, okay, bro, you're absolutely right. George Foreman had a punch when he fought Michael Moorer, so Mike Tyson can beat AJ. Michael Moorer, I remember that watching that fight, and I said, you know what? George is taking that fight for one purpose, one reason only. He knows there's no way a pumped up light heavyweight is knocking him out. One, and he knows two. If Tommy Morrison couldn't knock him out, he himself, listen, if he said to himself, listen, I've been in with big punches before. Listen, I might be getting punched by Michael Moorer, but he's a guy that loses concentration. He's a guy that will stand and trade in the pocket with me. He's a guy. I used to land one right hand on Michael Moorer, I become heavyweight champion of the world. That's why Mike was. That's why Foreman was chasing that fight. He was landing shots on Evander Holyfield, who was then the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. So Foreman was saying, okay, I didn't quite get it against Evander, but I'll get that Michael Moorer, a smaller guy, outweighed by 30, 40, 50 pounds. Yeah. He might dominate me for a certain amount of rounds, and then I'm going to hit him with one. And you saw what happened. Moore stood in the pocket for too long. One right hand against George Foreman. Good night. Could we see a similar thing with Mike Tyson against Anthony Joshua? Joshua stayed in the pocket that little bit too long and gets nailed with one of Mike's right hands or his left hooks. One. That's what makes it interesting. Could he do it? Is it possible? And then here comes the marketing. I'll market the fight. I'll show you all of Mike's knockouts when he was, the youngest heavyweight champion. When he's knocking his out, when he knocked out Frank Bruno, when he knocked out this guy. I'll show them whole fights over and over again. I won't talk too much about the fights against, Danny Williams. I won't talk about those fights because I want people to come into the arena, or I want people to tune in for the pay-per-view and say, and then I'll get Mike saying, you know what, back in the day, when I fought them guys, I didn't want to fight. But I'm back and the fire's in me. When Mike starts talking like that, it's a one fight only. I'm going to come out here and I'm going to give him my all. I'm the baddest fighter on the planet. When he starts talking like that, when Mike starts talking like that and he gets your adrenaline pumping, you forget about the fights with, Danny Williams and this guy and that guy. You forget about that. It's for one night only. And the adrenaline gets pumping. And then comes close to the fight. Mike looks in great shape. You've seen all the sparring. You've seen him do all the stuff. You think to yourself, can he do it? And the fight comes. Once the fight's been made, once Mike steps to the ropes, and, I'm saying, Mike, listen, go out there, give you all, and then listen, 2 rounds. If you're not feeling it, you don't think you can reach Joshua, you come back to the corner, or say you twisted your arm or you twisted your leg or something happened with your elbow, and and let's get the hell out of there. Take the money and get the hell out of there. That's it. And listen, Amir Khan fought against Crawford. Did he get himself out of there? Come on, man. Is Max P listening? LOL. Max P. Much R. LOL. He's going to come up with something else now. Here we go. I'm not saying we wouldn't all pay to see it, because we would. Jesus Christ. But I don't want to see Mike splattered on the canvas. Exactly what would happen. Oh, my good Lord. Somebody will have a word with this man. And Josh Warren didn't get splattered on the canvas tonight. Somebody, please, somebody. Did you pay your membership just to get in the room and really look? You're going to go back and look at this afterwards, and you'll listen back to this afterwards and think, this has not been one of your greatest moments, mate. I don't know if you're drinking Tennent's tonight or Special Brew. I don't know what you're drinking, but whatever you're drinking tonight, I would suggest that you go back to your off license and ask for a refund, because it's just not doing it for you, my friend. It really isn't. Mike Tyson Ruddock was a classic. The rematch, old school Sky Sports Box. And of course, you play those things. I'm just saying to you, entertainment purposes. You asked me a question, I answered your question. I can't believe I'm actually still talking about this fight that would never happen. Listen, let me say something to you, Mr. Max P. Stacey McKinley a year ago said Mike should come back and fight Anthony Joshua. Stacey McKinley even said it. And he was Mike's ex-trainer. Come on. I mean, this is an ex-trainer. A guy who's trained 34 world champions, now probably 35 in Trevor Bryant. Come on. I think the red membership matters more now than ever. Listen, it's nothing personal, Mark P, but Max P. As you know, I don't, you know, whether I'm playing Football Manager, I'm doing like playing FIFA, or whatever it is, this guy has made his point to hate Ingram Jones. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's laughing behind here. I don't know if he's hating. I don't know if he's the guy responsible for disliking all my videos. I don't know what it is. I don't know. But I mean, this is glutton. This is glutton for punishment, where you actually hate someone so much that you actually buy into the membership just to come on, just to make a point. I don't get it. But if it works, then it works. How slow that piece applies. So it's a 50-50 fight. If you ask Johnny Nelson, it's a 50-50 fight. If you Sky Sports, it's a 50-50 fight. Because he said that McGregor versus Mayweather was 50-50. That was truly irresponsible. Truly irresponsible. One dislike. LOL. So we know who's doing the disliking. I'm still waiting for you to deliver a title and a Champions League with Arsenal. See you in May. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll give you that. That was nice. That was good. And for that, I have to deliver on my Arsenal promise. People pay membership to wash their lives, wash their lives on BWTM knowledge. It's key to learn more knowledge. Life. We never stop learning in life. Thank you very much for that. So, Max P, fair play. I tip my. If I had a listen, I'll tip my headphones off to you. There you go. And just because you said that, I'll be more determined to deliver that promise to you of Arsenal, because that's another subject which I've worked on and I have done a lot of working on for this third season. If you see the type of players I've brought in this season for Arsenal, that's another subject altogether. And you guys are still listening to me talk at 3:33 in the morning. Yes, 3:33. If you want to get your conspiracy theories out now, you can. This is the moment. 3:33. The clock still stands at 3:33 in the morning. Hey, Leif, it's 3:33 in the morning. Damn me. I'm going to miss these times. I really am. By the way, did you all watch that interview I did with Andy Gill? Such boxing knowledge there. Incredible. Totally incredible. And also the tribute we did to Tony Burns. Incredible man in terms of British boxing. And if you haven't heard it already, that he was the Craig twins used to come in and watch. Were regularly in contact with Tony Burns. I had some incredible stories about that man. That man was absolutely amazing. Truly. 333, my brother. 333. 333. It's just turned to 334 now. But heads up. Heads up. But yeah. But as I said before, Mike Tyson versus Anthony Joshua. See? And the thing about this fight makes it even more fascinating is that Joshua's been knocked out already. And he'll know he's been knocked out got knocked out by a guy who's got short arms, likes to get inside and a brawler. It's not like Joshua didn't get knocked out by a brawler. And Mike's not going to come in the sort of shape that Ruiz was for the second fight. So I think Mike brings more to the table in terms of lateral movement and head movement and sidestepping and uppercuts through the middle and hooks, jumping left hooks and stuff like that. I mean, they have to have a real good camp for that. I mean, I'd love to set that camp up. I'd love to. Who would the sparring partners been for Mike Tyson against? Who would you have as sparring partners in for Joshua? I'd like to bring it. I'd have Vladimir Klitschko in for sparring. Vladimir Klitschko's jab. Yeah. Klitschko's jab. I'd bring Klitschko in. I'd bring Hughie Fury in for his jab as well. Physicality. Maybe a Jagba for sparring. I'd love to do the sparring for that fight. Amazing. Joshua would be odds on, obviously, to win for sure. But I mean, you know, Joshua won't even fight Wilder, so Tyson got change in fight. I mean, yeah, chance in fight. Yeah, of course he is. Of course, Mike's got a chance. Wilder versus Tyson. No, hell no. I don't want to see that fight. I don't want to see that fight. Yeah, Wilder trying to kill him. Man, I don't want to see that fight. That fight I don't want to see. Because, you see, Wilder's got power and he's got speed. He's got athleticism. I don't want to see that fight. I wouldn't advise Mike to take that fight. But even, listen, Mike Tyson against Dillian Whyte, even that fight. Dropping sparring knowledge here. It'd be interesting to see. Who would you put in the camp to spar with Mike Tyson to prepare him for the fight? I mean, one night. Obviously, why is Mike coming back and fighting? He says it's for charity, but soon some of that money's probably going into his back pocket as well. Mike doesn't need, I'm sure Mike does need the money still. Who doesn't need money? I don't know, 3 rounds. I mean, come on. When Kell Brook went and fought GGG, wasn't that irresponsible? Look at GGG. Look at Kell Brook's now in his career. Finished. That was irresponsible. Moved the guy up to 2 weight divisions. Never fought in that weight division before against a puncher. That was crazy. But it was done. Yeah? And there were people that actually thought that Kell Brook was going to beat Gennady Golovkin. Come on, man. Jab, sparring, pressure sparring. A lot of fans don't know this in group. Yeah, well, that's what we would do. You got to think about what Joshua would do in the fight. What would Joshua going to do in that fight? He would try. If you think about Joshua, there's no way Joshua's going to get onto the front and use the jab and try and bang Mike out of there. He's going to want to use lateral move and box like he did against Ruiz. Jab and grab against Mike, and that's where you'd beat Mike. Jab, grab, and push Mike back. Jab, grab, push Mike back. Force him backwards. Don't allow Mike to have forward momentum, and frustrate him. And take him into later parts of the fight. And then start to dismantle Mike after 6, maybe 7, 8. That's when you can start being a little bit more adventurous. You know, because obviously Mike's 55 years old. That's when you get a bit more adventurous. But by that point in time, listen, Mike's twisted his ankle. You know what I mean? That point in time, Mike's twisted his ankle. Mike gets it with a jab, and he tries to throw a right hand, and he falls over, he twists his ankle. We start getting Mike out of the ring real quick. Ashing him out of the ring. Yeah, Mike will be all right. He got injured. You know, Joshua's a great champion. We knew he was a great champion all along. You know, all hail to Anthony Joshua. Just feed the fans about Joshua and how great he is, and one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. He would have beaten Lennox Lewis. He'd have beaten Muhammad Ali. He'd have beaten. Just get Mike out the ring real quick. And they say, well, and then afterwards you just do the. Afterwards, the old PR stuff, I come out from the back and say, well, Mike, Mike's not well at the moment. He's going to be all right, but Mike's injured. He twisted the ankle. And at the age of 55, it can happen. Mike was fighting against time. Father Time catches up with us all. And, Mike had a great camp. He looked brilliant. He was knocking guys out in sparring. He was looking fantastic. We brought in Vladimir Klitschko into sparring. We brought this, that. Yeah, we brought all the guys into sparring. We knew it was going to be a tough fight. Blah, 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 blah. Credit to Anthony Joshua. You get robbed your pay-per-view. I get some nice money in my back pocket. And we're on to the next one. Come on. I mean, it happens all the time. Kell Brook was sold out to GGD. The fake hand of stone, Roberto Duran of middleweight division. Yeah. If time isn't a factor, might as well bring back 6-year-old Boris Becker to win Wimbledon this year. Isn't that why they call it Legends Tennis and exhibition matches? Somebody. Tyson versus Danny Williams warm up. Yeah, I would have getting that fight as well. I would have got Mike fight Danny Williams for a rematch, definitely. Mike would have won that fight clearly. He would have cleaned up Danny Williams in a round. Max P don't know tennis. Just clinch into Mike's chest for a few rounds and you get him out after a few rounds. That's it. That's it. That's what you have to do against Mike. That's what Joshua would have to do. But make sure you don't get clipped. Make sure you don't get clipped. Make sure you don't get clipped. Don't get clipped by Mike. Because one shot and that's it. Don't get clipped for... Don't get clipped. Don't try and exchange with Mike. Just try and keep the fire. Keep Mike out of arm's distance. Just make sure Mike does not connect on that jawbone of yours. That's it. If Dillian White can whack Joshua to the body and slow him up and they hit him to the head, I mean, come on. Just one night. One night and one right hand and one left hook. I mean, come on. Let's be honest. But honestly, yeah. How many times have you seen British fighters get in the ring and say he's got a puncher's chance? Now, check this out. When Callum Smith fought Canelo, that was highly irresponsible. A guy who we knew notoriously when he gets on the ropes does this. I'd say that's responsible against a guy who's a great body puncher, works fantastically on the inside, and a guy against a guy that doesn't like pressure and is going to do this. Here it comes. I've had a few beers tonight, but must be more drunk than I think. Can't believe what I've heard tonight. You can't believe what you heard tonight. I can't believe what I've read tonight. No, I can believe what I've read tonight. I don't think people in the room can believe what they're reading tonight. Ingham, you should have seen Zelfa Barrett versus Martinez robbery. It was shocking. Yeah, I read the title where Eddie Hearn was saying it was disgusting. Martinez break the brakes of him tonight. You're typing 100% accurately to Max P. You know, there's one thing thinking that someone isn't able to articulate what they're thinking. There's another thing to think that you can hate somebody as much as you like or dislike them as much as you like. But it's when you actually try to get your intellect and put your intellect in writing against somebody whose intellect you don't respect, and then you want to engage with somebody who does their research and then kind of half-ass answer questions or trying to take shortcuts against a guy that's got your number. If I were you, Max, I'd just stop. I'd just say, you know what? Hands up and say, you know what? I've got that wrong. I did. You're still going. My man's still going. He's on one tonight. AJ open to left hook, Dillian White and Andy Ruiz, but Mike Tyson got the left hook from front. That's why I kind of broke down where the eras was in that fight with Joshua and Ruiz. Nobody saw it coming. I saw the left hook coming. But I don't know. I don't know where this conversation is going now. But yeah, please don't come and ask me my opinion on something and then afterwards turn around and then not like the opinion that I give you. Just don't like my opinion. Don't ask my opinion. But I want to close on this point. Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. I want to ask these people one question. Well, it's a number of questions. Number one, why has this fight not been announced yet? Deontay Wilder is still being talked about. I mean, he's crazy and he's mad and he's this and that. He's all these things. But can you explain to me why why this court of arbitration is still going on? If he's so mad, if the contract's expired, why is there even Deontay Wilder even being mentioned and talked about? If he's so mad and crazy. The second thing is, now when that contract was written, these are things I was thinking about earlier, and I wrote it down in the comment section. I'm thinking about it. It's not fact. It's not proven. So please do not say in this comment section afterwards, you can't prove it. No, I can't prove it. But it's speculation, means ideas, possibilities. So I think, or one of my thoughts is, when the contract was written for the 3-fight deal between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, there was no COVID. Nobody knew what COVID was, apart from those who were preparing for it. Nobody knew. Nobody knew COVID coming. Nobody knew COVID was coming, apart from those who knew COVID in the laboratory, knew about COVID, right? So, and Bill Gates, yeah, he knew about COVID. But Al Heyman and Bob Arum and Frank Warren and the rest of PBC, or whatever it was, they didn't have COVID in plan. It was Fury 1 and Wilder, Fury 2 and Wilder, Fury 3 and Wilder. There was no COVID in place. Then COVID happened. Now they talk about this contract running down. So if Wilder is literally in contract and he's meant to fight Fury, and Fury doesn't honor that contract, and it's not the first time Fury hasn't honored a contract, by the way. Then Mr. Hennessy take him to court and won out of court settlement. Mick Hennessy. So it's not the first time Tyson is out of court settlements. So it would be the first time. But if he tries to do it against Wilder, who may have a legitimate case, then what happens? It's the biggest fight in history. Now they talk about 200 million, the biggest fight in history. But Tyson could also be facing the biggest lawsuit in history. So one strategy could be is to file it in that contract, a loophole, when the contract expires. So surely that contract, the 3 fights should have been done already, long time, but we had COVID. And we've had COVID for a year and a bit now. So I'm wondering to myself, how long is that contract actually for? Because if they can run the clock down, then that contract becomes null and void because, well, we had a contract. It was from this time to this time. How can a contract be valid 2 and 3 years? Because nobody sets a contract up for 2 or 3 years if there's no COVID about. Because at the time the contract was written, there was no COVID. So, thinking about it now, how long is there left in this first contract that was written between Wilder and Fury? And how much time is left on the contract? That's the question that should be asked, the original contract. And was there another contract after the first 2 for the third fight? Was there a third fight contract in place? And when does that run out? I'd like to know when that contract ran out. Because if that contract hasn't run out, and the stipulating factor is, well, we've got COVID, but you had a contract in place before COVID, that's something to consider. And then Fury's team has to ask themselves, well, we can knock it on the head, but how much do they knock it on the head? If it's the biggest fight in history, you're going to have to pay Tyson Wilder some step-aside money. But if he doesn't want step-aside money, and he actually wants to avenge his loss, and you say, listen, I want to avenge my loss. Joshua got the chance to avenge his loss. I want to avenge my loss. This isn't just about money. I want to fight this guy for a third time. And if there's actually evidence, the crazy Wilder, if there's actually evidence, then what? But is COVID an act of God? Now we're asking the question, is COVID an act of God? Not fearing him because you see everything coming. like bloody Morpheus. It's a talent. Max P. Max P is a real Max Browning in BWTM. The actor starred EastEnders with Spence Oliver. BWTM trying to get tips from BWTM for podcast. Your thoughts on the pay £40 pay-per-view seems wrong to me. Well, no, not really. £40 pay-per-view sounds about right. Bear in mind, wait for it, COVID. Fans can't come in. Hit by economical, financial crisis. This is just the way boxing is. This is the new normal. Got to put bums on seats. Got to pay for it. We've got to pay more because of the overheads have become more because of COVID. If we could have got the fans in the arena, then we'd be charging you 20 quid. But bear in mind, you know, and it's the biggest fight in history. We've got to cover our overheads. 40 quid. You're not going to complain. You're going to pay for it because you've been prepared for it. Because that's how they talk. They prepare you for it. Listen, I've told you already. These people in these high positions of power, what they do, they tell you the crap they're going to do before they do it. They let you grumble about it. And like good citizens and good slaves, you're going to pay for it. What can you do? You got a choice. You pay for it. And you get to see it clear and loud and everybody moving in the right time. And you see every punch going the right, you should see it. Or you get a pirate copy, pirate watch it via some dodgy internet stream where you may see the punch thrown, then it might freeze a bit, and then you might see the X guy on the floor. In the biggest fight of boxing history, do you really want to be doing that? Or in the middle of the fight, suddenly it just cuts out? Do you really want to do that? Save up, pay the 40 quid, watch the fight. That's what I thought of it. Is there an act of God clause? Well, is COVID an act of God or is it an act of man? I would turn and say COVID is an act of man because it was created in a laboratory. Whether it was created in Wuhan or it was created in America or wherever it was created by man. So it's not an act of God. So my argument would be not an act of God, move on. That's what I would say if I'm trying to get myself a third fight with Fury, that is. Is COVID an act of God? Good question. There you go. To be honest, I'd sell a kidney to watch it. So there's your 40 quid then. You just contradicted yourself. Just pay the 40 quid, mate. Don't give your kidney up. Just pay the 40 quid and be grateful your kidneys are okay. Yeah. Don't because other people could do with kidney, right? So you know, just less of the kidney stuff, yeah. Gotta take compensation for the lack of fans. We want these fighters paid. That is what we love. There you go. See, there's Mitchell there. Right on cue. That's what we need. So for those who don't want to pay the 40 quid, don't pay the 40 quid. I'll pay 40 quid. I know in advance. So 40 quid's what they're going to be charging. Let's start saving now. If I save a £5 a week, I'm sure I can make the 40 quid. I can't believe you all are here. So you guys are in here watching me, listening to me waffle on while there's boxing on. By the way, did my boy Comey win against Jackson Martinez? Or is he fighting now? Anybody got the results of that fight? And then Melissa Odessa fights next week. Would you pay £100? The only fight I'd pay £100 for back then would be Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder in Africa, and I would have had it at the place where the Rumble in the Jungle. I would have done a Rumble in the Jungle with Joshua versus Wilder for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. Wilder would have been WBC champion. Joshua would have been unified champion with all the belts, the rest of the belts. And that's the conversation I had. I would have had it in Africa. And yes, I'd pay £100 for that because the proceeds of half some of that money would have been going to Africa itself. To after that fight, to build a center of education of excellence for the Africans there at the time. That's what I done. Whether I would have built a boxing school for it afterwards, or I would have built a boxing school with education, like a boxing college afterwards. The winner of the fight the score would have been named after the winner of the fight. Bang. And they would have had a statue of the two guys fighting outside the arena, so they have that sort of history for it. That's what I would have done for £100. That's what I would do. Yes, I would pay £100, but only on that situation. So yes, I would pay £100, but only on that situation. That's the only time I pay £100 for a fight. No other fight in boxing, I think. Yeah. Make no sense. You understand? And of course, you know, you've got Joshua with an African background as it is, and Wilder who really embraces his you know, his background and his colours. So I guess it would be a great fight. I think it'd be a great fight in Africa for all the belts. Could you imagine? You know, both fighters being brought out by African tribes. Both guys, imagine it, picture it, this huge ring. And before it, you're having all these African drums playing. You see the beauty of Africa at the time, Zaire. See like an overhead picture of Zaire closing in like time. Before you do it, the build up to Wilder, Joshua. They have the whole day dedicated to Wilder, Joshua. You get back-to-back fights of Deontay Wilder, back-to-back fights of Anthony Joshua, then the training camps, and then the face-off. And I would only play the face-off. I would not play the face-off until the day of the fight, the face-off. So I'd get the face-off like maybe an hour beforehand. You play the face-off and people sit down and watch it. So you're getting entertained, boxing entertainment right the way through. And then a heavyweight shootout of all the other the top 10 heavyweights fighting on that night. It's like a heavyweight explosion, and the unification that the undisputed heavyweight champion was top of the bill that night. It would be an extravaganza. That would be worth £100. So you tell me, that would be amazing. I think will top anything Wembley could do. It would be the biggest fight in history, period. It would top Holyfield Tyson. It would top Joshua Fury. It will top all of that. In Africa? Come on. Oh, there we go. Wembley. Considering Tyson Fury's proven history of cheating, would you place money on an AJ win in the first AJ Fury bout, expecting Fury to take a dive? No, I can't see Fury taking a dive. I can see Fury doing a lot of things, but taking a dive? Nah. Can't see him taking a dive. No, I don't think so. No, I can't see him taking a dive. But did anyone see the state of Fury's condition at the moment? Did anyone see what sort of physical shape he was in? For a guy who's in the gym and firing on all cylinders waiting to fight Anthony Joshua. Did you see his condition of his body? Imagine the scenes in London all weekend. Forget that, man. Mate, I don't know if you work for Sky Sports. I don't know if you work for Sky Sports or you work for Matchroom. But, bro, you sound like you work for Matchroom. You sound like you Adam Smith himself. Imagine the scenes in London all weekend. Come on, man. Imagine the scenes around the world, everyone tuning in to watch from Africa, the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world, and the top 5 heavyweights, the top 5 or top 6 heavyweights of the world, all facing off against each other in a heavyweight explosion, Rumble in the Jungle Part 2. Could you imagine? And the views of Africa at night time. They've seen Africa, the scenes during the day, right? Like a drone going around Africa, parts of Zaire, and then closing in at night time, the lights going down, the lights of the city going up. It's just closing, watching it, looking at the arena, looking at the ring at night time, the lights going down, and the crowds coming into the arena. Man, I could build a fight. I could build a fight. My word, I could build a fight. All the hype before it. People in the arena sitting down watching the face-off as we're watching the face-off. Joshua and Wilder. Wilder looking in Joshua's eyes. You say to him, believe me, I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Believe me. And Wilder was looking into Joshua. No, this is before Wilder's gotten beat, yeah? And before Joshua got beat. And then Joshua looking at Wilder going, yeah, prove it. Talk is cheap. Less talk, more action. Imagine Joshua at one side, let's talk more action. And then Wilder going, bomb squad, the other side of the table. Man, I could build this fight. Man, Matchroom never forgive them for what they did for Wilder Fury. For Wilder Joshua. Never forgive them. They should never ever be talked about again in terms of elite promotions in boxing. Ever. Max P, you're talking to a guy who talks to elite boxing trainers on a daily basis. He goes here. You underestimate the atmosphere in London on the eve of a legendary event. Bro, if I'm promoting this event, mate, that fight is being televised. When you're watching that fight is going to be in the middle of London when it's being televised. That's going to be in Trafalgar Square. When that fight has been televised, it's in Trafalgar Square. Then every person that is in Trafalgar Square is paying to watch that fight. Everyone paying 20 quid to watch that fight live, or even 30 quid to come in through the turnstiles. Right, major security, and everyone's coming through the turnstiles. That fight is going to be shown in every damn cinema there is around England, every damn cinema in England, every damn cinema in Germany, every damn cinema in America. It's going to be shown everywhere around the world if I'm promoting that fight about the scenes in London at Wembley. You take your damn Wembley, and I'll take a arena built just for that fight. Come on, man. And that arena afterwards can be used as a school for progression in Africa. You're not getting the vision. Too many haters in the room. Is too many haters or too many people hitting the thumbs down? But I don't listen. Let me educate you all. Listen, let me tell you something. Those of you who want to hit the dislike button, it doesn't make a difference, because let me tell you a little secret. Every time you hit the dislike button, it's considered a view. So I don't get punished for that. It's still a view. So you click the dislike button, it's still a view. It doesn't make a difference, because I don't see who it is that's hitting the dislike button. I don't care. It doesn't bother me in the slightest. We're haters. My God. So that's it. But just imagine Wilder versus Joshua for the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Man, you would pay £100 for that. You would definitely pay £100 for that. So imagine on the bill, you'd have the top heavyweights in the world. You'd have here's how the fights would go. Joshua versus Fury. Andy Ruiz versus Dillian White. Joseph Parker versus heavyweights. Joseph Parker versus Michael Hunter. Alexander Usyk versus Parker versus Chisora. Usyk versus Povetkin. There you go. I never once hit the dislike button. I'm one of the OGs. FM 17 days. Max P, the green proves your longevity supporting the channel. What's the difference between a pink and green? Max P has got a green now. He's got a green. How did he get green? Exactly. So he's been on the channel once. He's been rewarded for that. There you go. Not a bad thing. So, guys, I've just given you what a Joshua versus Wilder undisputed fight would have been like. But thanks to Matchroom, that well and truly got destroyed. I was a boy back in the day. You not the Donka? Was it the Donka? Donka, the guy that had a crush on on a Tia. I'm sure that was you. Might have been you. So yeah, I think it'd be a huge fight. A huge fight. I'll be honest. I just don't have the same attraction to boxing as I once did. There are not a lot of fights that I would stay up and watch anymore. Just wouldn't. Just wouldn't. Yeah. Right. It's time for me to end this. Obi-Wan. There you go. Obi-Wan. There you go. Yeah. But you've also been one of the Obi-Wan. You've also turned into being quite a bit of a hater too, as well. It's not a bad thing, though. We need somebody who's gonna bring up some sort of argument and debate. And it's never personal. Please understand, it's never personal, but not from my end anyway. So, right. Much love to you all. Right, I'm gonna get out of here. I've got work to do early morning, as we all do. So gonna get things sorted tomorrow. It's a long month ahead. Right, Bo versus Lennox Lewis 2021. Now that's irresponsible. That is irresponsible, bro. That's irresponsible. Bo can just about put two words together, man. Forget Bo, man. Forget Riddick Bo. Forget Riddick Bowe, man. Forget Riddick Bowe. Nah, and I don't want to see Lennox lose again. Nah. No. 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 Good night, sir. See you in May. Listen, you need to be more consistent when I do my football managers. By the way, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to BWTM Online Gaming. Get across there, BWTM Online Gaming. That's our YouTube channel specifically for gaming. So if you're looking to see where I'm doing the gaming now, I'm doing it over at BWTM Online Gaming. Got some old school stuff there, and I think I like it over there. It's nice and quiet over there for now. So BWTM Online Gaming. I'll see you over there. Thank you so much for tonight. Bit of a wild one, but Josh Warrington getting knocked out. And I suspect more of it's coming to some of your favourite fighters in the UK. We are losing pay-per-view fighters one by one by gross mismanagement and gross money grabbing. It's not good. Have a good night. Please take care. To you and your loved ones, good night. Yeah.